Close Sports Pulse, USA Today Sports. Michael Middlehurst Schwartz looks at the top 5 quarterbacks of the 2018 NFL Draft and the teams that would be the best fit for each. USA Today Sports. The printers were massive, Nathan Shepard said. Probably 25 or 30 feet long, whirring as they spit out 50 hot strips of cardboard in a row, flattened cartons so sharp they would leave thin cuts on his forearms. His job at this Westvaco packaging facility in Toronto was to stack the folded-down boxes into towers more than 6 feet high, move them off the line, bundle them in plastic wrap and get them ready to be loaded onto trucks. They were often the future homes of 24 packs of Coca-Cola, or the beginnings of a 6-pack of beer. Bud Light, Miller Lite, Corona, whatever it might be. Shepard said this wasn't the only job Shepard had in his 2 years away from football, but it was probably the most difficult. He said he was working 12-hour shifts, sometimes overnight from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. He was living with his parents in a suburb of Toronto, biking to work, lifting weights, saving money and waiting for another opportunity to play football. Now, a little less than 4 years later, he's emerged as a projected 2nd or 3rd round pick in the NFL Draft. Though Hess a relative unknown even among football fans, Shepard has arguably the most winding journey of any of this year's prospects. He worked time at a plant, nursery and electrical construction company in British Columbia. He paid his own way and walked on at Fort Hays State University, a Division II school in western Kansas. And then he kept working, bouncing at bars after home games and working other odd jobs to stay financially afloat. The number one question the NFL asks is, "Do you love football?" said Fort Hays wide receivers coach Al McRae, who recruited Shepard. "Read this kid's story and you tell me if this kid loves football or not." From nursery to packaging factory, Shepard didn't just want to play football, he wanted to play American football. So nearly 7 years ago, he decided to enroll at Simon Fraser University because it was the only NCAA-affiliated school in Canada, even though it was more than 2,700 miles from Toronto. He redshirted in 2011 and showed promise in 9 games in 2012, but he had to leave the team and withdraw from school in 2013 because of what he described as financial issues. So he did what anyone else would do. "I started working at a plant nursery," Shepard said. More, Aurora shooting survivor, hopes perseverance leads to NFL draft opportunity. More, ranking the NFL draft's top defensive linemen, including Washington's Vita Vea. His brief seasonal job at Nat's nursery amounted to packing up orders of potted plants, transporting them on a dune buggy and loading them onto an 18-wheeler, Shepard said. When winter arrived, he said he switched to electrical construction, working on the wiring in new townhouse developments. Then, a little less than a year after entering the workforce, Shepard decided to move back home with his parents to cut costs. Paul Watkins, a family friend and personal trainer, said Shepard was broken. His dream was to play football, and it didn't work out at Simon Fraser, said Watkins, who helps run football and training, a training group outside Toronto. It seemed like that was the end of football for him. But Shepard said his mindset never wavered. Even as he picked up shifts at the packaging factory in April and took classes through Northeast Texas Community College, he was still in the gym with Watkins, who offered to train Shepard for free. "All the other dreams or passions that I might have had were things that could be pursued after football," Shepard said. "Football is a blink of an eye. I'm like, you are going to regret if you don't go back. So, let's go back and give it our best shot." North squad defensive tackle Nathan Shepard of Fort Hays State stretches during Senior Bowl practice at Ladd Peoples Stadium in Mobile, Alabama, on January 23, 2018. Photo, Glenn Andrews, USA Today Sports. A one-way plane ticket. McRae first got a call about Shepard from a friend who is a junior college coach. The school loved him, McRae's friend told him, but it wasn't prepared to risk a scholarship on someone who hadn't played football in 2 years. McRae aired Shepard's 2-year-old film from Simon Fraser and some video clips on Facebook of the 6'5", 315-pounder lifting weights in Watkins' gym. It was enough for McRae. He offered Shepard the chance to walk on at Fort Hays and pay his own way for a semester, with the chance of earning a scholarship after that. Within a few weeks, Shepard had purchased a one-way ticket to Hays, Kansas, population 21,027. People talk about, "Oh, they love football, they love football, they love football," McRae said. "This kid from Toronto bought his own plane ticket to come to Hays, Kansas. Sight unseen. More. Richmond QB Kyle Lauletta among NFL draft sleepers. More. Check out USA Today Sports' latest mock draft. Shepard said he used savings from the previous 2 years to cover tuition, housing, food and international student fees during that first semester. He also encountered one unforeseen cost: health insurance. He'd never had to pay for that before, the Ajax, Ontario native said. Shepard said it didn't make sense for him financially to take out student loans because there would have been a lot of hoops that I had to jump through as a Canadian citizen at a U.S. school. He didn't ask his parents for help because his younger sister, Janessa, was also getting ready to go to college. I felt like if I wanted to pursue this dream, I needed to be the one to invest in myself, Shepard explained. And if I could do that, that's how I knew it was real for me. As he carved out a role for himself on the field, eventually earning a scholarship that covered tuition, Shepard continued to work random jobs to pay for food and rent. He got a job on the school's custodial staff. He worked the concession stands at basketball and volleyball games on campus. He spent one semester as a resident assistant. He moved furniture for cash. And he even worked security at local bars, concert halls and a dirt race on the outskirts of town, sometimes even bouncing after home games. It was literally anything, said Wyatt Parker, his former teammate and close friend. It could have been pumping sewage and it would be like, in there. Shepard juggled his various responsibilities by working as many hours as he could during the spring and summer, then scaling back during football season. He recorded 12.5 tackles for a loss and 4 sacks last year, earning Conference Defensive Player of the Year honors despite being routinely double-teamed. He kind of looked at football like it's a job, Parker said. Unsurprisingly, McRae said, Shepard has prepared for the draft much like any other employee would prepare for a job interview. When scouts visited him, he'd ask for their business cards. If he knew he was going to be meeting with a specific scout, he'd research his or her background. Like, who does that? McRae said. That's Nate. Everything about him is business. Shepard will turn 25 during his rookie season, making him one of the oldest prospects in this draft class. And regardless of when he's drafted, he will become just the 6th player from Fort Hays to make it to the NFL since 1938. It will be a moment of validation and relief, 7 years in the making, and it's clear he won't take his new job for granted. Contact Tom Shaditz, chat@usatoday.com or on Twitter @Tom.